Hello, everyone. Welcome to Decked. My name is Tyler, and with me is my co-host Ray.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Thanks everybody for tuning into Decked this week on episode 19. We're gonna play a game of Cthulhu for your entertainment. This was from a Call of Cthulhu match held at Black Moon Games in Lebanon, New Hampshire, a little while ago. On the left, you can see my hands shuffling a deck of cards, and on the right, you can see our friend Rod.
You can't see me. I'm not in this picture.
No, you are slightly off to Rod's right.
Yes, you can see the side of my shorts actually in that chair next to Rod.
So on Decked, we play games to entertain people, and then we come back later on and comment on them, and that's what we're doing here. I'm going to get to talk a little bit about the deck I'm playing, which is it's a themed Migo deck. And by themed, I mean it's a lot of Migo and the things that help to make them go. And we'll see how that's going to play in a bit. And Rod is playing a new deck of his called Forward the Foundation.
Yes. So what exactly does make the Migo go?
The Migo are a go-go. Let's get that out of the way.
The Migo are a go-go.
That was I called my first attempt at a Migo deck that. What make the Migo go are mainly the card Pervasive Toxemia. It's a new conspiracy from the Thousand Young where you have to wound a character in order to commit characters on that turn.
Okay.
So since the Migo have all these self-granting abilities, there's one the Ageless Migo that'll grant toughness to all other Migo. So there's generally somebody I can wound without actually losing a character.
Gotcha.
And a number of handy Migo already come with toughness built in.
Right.
And as you can, folks can see here, I'm mulliganed because I've just dealt myself a new set of cards, I believe.
And I just saw the Toxemia go down as this is a card I'm going to keep.
Yep. Toxemia is a first turn play whenever I can do it.
For those of you who have watched previous episodes of Decked, you'll have seen Rod play before. Rod, the deck we've seen him play is an Explorer deck generally.
Right.
So this is a new deck from him.
Mm-hmm. He's been tinkering with it in the past. It's the first time it's been on camera.
Yes, this is the first time it's been on camera. And as you can see, he's got a local sheriff that he is resourcing at the beginning here. The local sheriff, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, is a transient card, which means when you drain a domain with it attached to it, it provides 2 of agency in this case, and then it's immediately discarded after that. But it has an ability where you can pay 1 and return it to your hand if it entered your discard pile this phase.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things a lot of people do with it, I know at the very least I've done with it in the past, is to have it, to use it and bring it back to your hand immediately.
Yep. And potentially, if you give 2 transients on the first turn, you could drop a 4-cost character.
This is very true.
And so Rod here elected to go first.
Yes,
and he's just thrown down a Relentless Stalker.
Yes, he has. And now he's using his transient one to play down his location support card, whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Neil's Curiosity Shop.
Thank you. The Curiosity Shop copies it has the triggered abilities of each support card controlled by an opponent, which very often, unfortunately, runs into problems because most support cards are self-referential. And therefore, it can't do much.
Right. Because it's called Neil's. It's not called the thing it's trying to copy.
Right. But there are some cards that it can copy. It can't do much with attachments, obviously. And I don't know if there was anything that happened in your game that we get to see it copy. But
no. The only support cards out were all referential, I believe. So I just resourced the Vortex of Time. And there's Pervasive Toxemia. And this is Rod explaining to Rod what it does, because it really shapes how the game is played.
Yes, it's actually a fairly game-breaking conspiracy.
Yeah. And there's been some interesting discussions about how to make the game even more broken with it and some other cards. But
yes.
Interestingly, the Relentless Stalker actually plays out really well with this situation because the Stalker won't uncommit.
Right. You can choose not to uncommit the Relentless Stalker from a story. Therefore, you do not have to keep recommitting it and paying for it via the Toxemia.
Right. And we'll see how it plays out. But it became an interesting matchup because of that.
Right. I personally am a fan of the Relentless Stalker. He adds a combat struggle at whatever story he's at.
Mm-hmm. And has 2 skulls.
And he has 2 skulls, yes. And he doesn't uncommit if you don't want him to.
So I threw down the festival here to start ramping resources. And my recollection at the time is I'm pretty certain I did this in a poor order. Like I should have used up my 2 cost domain before sacking something off it,
Right.
because then I could have put the festival back on it. So that was a poor choice on my part, and I would
Now,
have still had a purple and a red domain.
also, just for people to know, the festival is self-referential, so Neil's Curiosity Shop is not going to be able to copy that. The other nice thing about the Relentless Stalker is he's got willpower, which is really great for a character that you're going to leave committed at a story because you don't have to worry about getting driven insane on your opponent's turn. And it's got toughness +1. So he's actually going to be able to commit that with a Toxemia out there without having to worry about it dying. So yes, this does mean if you want to build a Toxemia, if you want to build an agency shub deck, and you want to build it with Toxemia, this would be a good way to go.
I hadn't considered that, but that's a really great point, because I know a lot of people like the blue and the red. You do it with Bloodbath and Beyond.
Yes, I do.
I've seen an Area 51 deck that's is like Migo and Men in Black kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So I just, again, because
A lot of toughness in the agency, which plays well with Toxemia.
when I looked into it, there was not as much as I thought there was. But just to mention what happened here, because I used the festival wrong, I didn't have anything else to play, so that's kind of a dud turn for me.
Gotcha. Rod has replayed his local sheriff down so that he has another transient.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so he's basically right now looking at 1/2/2. And that is...
Oh, that's the supernatural. It's from For the Greater Good. It's the Lady in White, Supernatural Investigator, maybe?
Supernatural Investigator it is. She is an investigator hunter. She'll cost 1. She has 1 investigation icon. She's got 1 skill. And she has the ability of a disrupt. When an opponent triggers a card effect that targets a character you control, choose a card in a discard pile and put it on top or bottom of its owner's deck.
So this is Rod doing what you just mentioned earlier. He wounded the Stalker to commit it to the Toxemia.
Yes.
Because now he can just leave the Stalker there, and in a couple turns it'll be gone.
Right.
Which is, I have to say, in all the games I've played with this deck, that's a really rare occurrence. Usually the Toxemia just sits there, either because the other player isn't thinking about it or they don't have the people to take it.
Right.
I mean, you can really see how it makes people change the way they think about the game.
Right.
And then they sort of get distracted by that change, and they may not necessarily be prioritizing, how do I get rid of this?
Right. Or it may affect them in a way that they're not playing their deck the way they should.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you just play here?
Oh, I bet that is a Harvesting Migo. When Harvesting Migo enters play, it lets you take a character card from the discard and attach it to a domain as a resource.
Gotcha. So you cycled out the card that you discarded with the festival the previous turn.
Yep. So again, probably suboptimal use, but at least I got it back. And now I've gone and fished out a festival.
Right. So now you've got all 3 festivals
Bouncing.
bouncing.
Two will be bouncing, one will be doing the work.
Right.
And so now I've got a character on the board. This is very exciting.
Yes.
One of the characteristics of Migo is they are kind of slow. Like,
Gotcha.
there's not a lot. I haven't hit on a lot of ways to play them out fast.
Right.
And this particular iteration of the deck doesn't have the only discounter it has is the Migo worker.
Gotcha. Now the harvesting Migo there, what does he have for icons and skill and various things?
Oh, the Harvesting Migo costs 2. I can tell you that right off the top of my head. And I bet you it's a skull in a book. That 1 combat icon and 1 arcane icon is what I am wagering. If only there was some way to know. Where are they?
You've
it's
also
a skull and an arcane icon.
A skull and an arcane icon. You've played 2 more characters.
Oh, there's the Ageless Amigo, which is what's suddenly granting everybody toughness. And I believe that is Amigo Surgeon, which grants everybody an arcane.
Nice. So
Or it could be the Caretaker who grants skill. It's probably the skill, from my recollection.
all right. We've got characters committed to all stories at this point in time.
Yeah. Let's just go for broke is my feeling. Because
Well,
he's only got 1 character on his side, so he can't commit without losing
killing
it.
her. Right.
And then he's got nothing to commit.
Yeah, he's either killing her or he's killing his
That's
stalker.
true. He could have killed the Stalker. That's absolutely true. But he wants to get rid of Toxemia a bit more, I think.
Right, exactly.
Because the Migo currently are only placing 2 tokens each.
Correct. Because you do not have the, what's the name of the one that adds investigation icons?
Migo Scout.
Amigo Scout. That is definitely Amigo that whenever I see it, I'm like, oh,
But he's
game.
pulled out a trick here. He's played small price to pay.
Yes, he has. Small price to pay allows him to drive a character he controls insane, which he's doing to the supernatural investigator.
He's doing it to the supernatural investigator.
Yes, he's doing it to the supernatural investigator, and then he gets to wound a character. So he apparently targeted.
He drove the supernatural investigator insane to wound my harvesting Migo.
Right, which is the one you had apparently wounded to commit.
Right. And I actually I think I originally wounded the ageless Migo and then changed my mind.
Right.
So that was a good call. I realized I have to keep reminding myself, wound the things granting the toughness last.
Yes, because otherwise everything dies quickly.
Right. It is very gratifying to have 3 ageless Migo on the board.
Having played against 3 Ageless Migo on the board, I can understand why it's gratifying on your side.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good turn. The thing moving forward, at least putting the pressure on Rod to be expending resources to stop me from rushing.
Right.
That's often the sort of thing I'm thinking about with this sort of thing is, and I know this isn't necessarily Miskatonic Rush, but it's a level of.
Right. Looks like he just resourced a new recruit.
I thought that was another investigator.
It could have been.
It's that white tabard. It's very distinctive.
Yeah. What do we have coming into play now?
A new stalker.
A second stalker.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be just like Scream when they corner each other with identical costumes.
Yes.
That's Mr. Gray.
That is Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray is an agency support card that... Not support card, character. He's government, and he has a response to after a character is wounded, pay 1 and exhaust him to put 1 success token on any story. Really good with the toxemia.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not just if one of your characters is wounded, that's any character that's wounded. Now, granted, you have to pay 1 and exhaust him, so you're not going to be able to do it, a lot, but it is extra success tokens to be putting into play.
Right. And in agency in particular, having extra ways to put tokens down, it can be really, really helpful.
Yes, it can.
Because originally Mr. Gray was one of the few ways, and now the new For the Greater Good box gave us some more options.
Right. So, for instance, right now, if Rod were to wound any one of his characters to commit somebody to a story, he could win the toxemia right now, based on what I see on the board. Because, you might be able to defend,
Mm-hmm.
but he could put that success token on the toxemia, and then, although he might be tapped out, or
No, he's got open domains.
does he have one open domain?
Yeah, the one on the left, the right.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can see the Cthulhuoid sitting in the background there.
Yep, he's committed though, and he's not using Mr. Gray.
No, he's not. Maybe as a defensive posture?
I think it felt like he was on the back foot.
Gotcha.
I mean, not necessarily, because that's actually a really good move, and I was surprised that he didn't use Mr. Gray in some way.
Right. He may have been waiting, and this is actually an intelligent play in this case, and I think this is probably what he was doing, was he may have been waiting because now if you want to commit on your turn, you're going to be wounding something. He can still pay the 1 with Mr. Gray, win the toxemia on your turn, and you still had to wound something.
Right.
So it's actually a smarter play for him to hold off on that
Mm-hmm.
than to have done it on his turn.
That sounds very plausible, as in that might be what happens. Because certainly, there's no compelling reason for me to go anywhere near toxemia right now.
Right. But if you want to commit to any story to try to win it.
Right. I'm just saying there's no way. The only way I could contest that is if I were to somehow get the stalker out of there.
Right.
And regrettably, some of my most favorite Yogg-Sothoth cards just did not show up. Resourcing up to 3. Sticking with the red. Ah, there's our scout.
There is the scout, yes.
Now all the Migo are clever investigators, too.
And here goes the festival.
Yeah, they're using the festival a little better this time.
You guys have already used that domain.
Yep. It really is a learning process. These certain cards like that, you all it takes it, for me at least. It takes so long to like really ingrain. This
Do
is how
this,
I need
then
to be
this,
using this
then
card,
this. Right.
and often I it has to be explained to me at length, or I have to realize it after playing for a bit.
What are you going to get?
I don't really, at this point I don't know because I've got all the festivals. I think I just want to ramp a bit, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm probably not going to need.
You're not going to need a Migo Commander because extra combat icons are not going to do you any good.
Probably. Would
I
have
was
been
kind of
helpful.
surprised you didn't go for a off faction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with the faction mix here. I think when I revised this deck, I'm probably just going to remove
Yeah.
all the purple
Right.
and go all red, and just try to focus on the way Shub Niggurath removes characters.
Gotcha. Because I was going to say, you have. What do you have Yogg-Sothoth in there for? I know there's Faceless Abductors in the deck.
Faceless Abductor pushed into the Beyond.
Right.
Frozen Time, which is not good when you have that few purple cards because
Right.
it's loyal. Sebastian Blake
Okay.
to do a little recycling. Originally, Sebastian was going to work with Terran Time to do more recycling. It just wasn't. Terran Time was never an efficient way to do it.
Right.
And oh golly, there's another one.
So what are we looking at in your graveyard there? Or what is Rod looking at?
That's
in your
Vortex of Time.
Okay.
I played it to draw 2, and now I can be peeking at the top card of decks to decide if they go on the bottom.
Gotcha.
That is a handy ability.
It's a good way to keep yourself from having a completely dead draw or from your opponent getting something they really wanted.
And Vortex of Time is what I chose to replace the Terran Time.
Gotcha.
Just because getting some more draw seemed...
It had to be something to do with time, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. That was the rule. It was just a more immediately applicable benefit.
Right.
Draw 2 cards. Let's move on.
Instead of possibly draw cards, if you can get stuff at this.
Yeah, if you can slog through a story and win the
Yeah.
arcane, da-da-da.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely use Terran Time much more efficiently.
You really have to work it. Like, you have to be like, all my characters have arcane icons.
Yeah. Not only do they all have arcane icons, but, now I'm making all the arcane things to happen first, and there's 6 arcane struggles. And all right, you're going all out here to everything but the Toxemia.
I'm going for the spread because as long as I want to maximize the Toxemia's utility because it's clearly going
Right.
away shortly.
All right, now you just wounded your character, and it looks like Rod's not going to win the Toxemia here by you wounding your character.
We'll see.
Now, if he lets this go,
Look at the way he's steepling his fingers. He's clearly got a plan.
he's clearly got a plan.
No, he's using Mr. Gray for defense.
He is using Mr. Gray for defense.
And I was expecting him to use Mr. Gray. So I was like, oh, what? Why are you
Yeah.
committing?
He killed his character. So, all right, you're resolving the 9th plague first.
Yep.
What
Not
is it?
triggering.
Not triggering, I'm guessing. You're going to add 3 icons down at... I don't know what story that is.
Could be anything. Anything at all.
Come to Dree Time just came into play. And now you're just going to...
Nope. I'm giving up. I think I just chose the resolution order so I could have my investigation icons.
Gotcha.
And then just gave it up as a bad job.
It's very interesting.
Yep. And he left the stalker in place. Well, he was already in place. But he's just got... There's stalkers around every corner in this game.
Right, so he killed one of his characters and killed one of your characters. An important one, nonetheless.
Yeah, took away investigation.
Right, took away the investigation. You still won a story and are in position to win another story next turn because it only takes 2 to win that last story now.
Right.
Instead of taking the Toxemia off the board.
Well, I would suspect he's fairly confident he's going to take Toxemia away this turn.
This is true.
And that way he netted removing a character of mine for
Fair enough.
a cheaper one of his.
Right.
Neil's Curiosity Shop open for business.
Oh,
no
for
comers.
business. Yep. Nothing, nothing to do though. There's a festival going on.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a point in the game where he was actually had a lot of deliberation about what to play and what to resource.
All right. Well, he's resourcing a local sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe not.
Nope, nope. Oh, oh,
Oh,
oh,
he
oh,
is, but
oh.
that should be with the other local sheriff. So that should produce 4 now.
Yes, I recall that he had 2 sheriffs for 4 resources at one point, and now he was like, how do I use this? I think what he chose, I mean, definitely what he chose radically affected the game. Because he told me what the second option was later.
If he has, and I think I can see it from here, it looks like he might have the foundation in his hand. And if that's the case,
Yeah, that's the foundation there.
that could be hugely transformative to what's going on in the game.
A radically transformative play?
Radically transformative play, yes. For those of you that don't know, the foundation has
Well, first of all, you can drain multiple domains to play it.
yes,
Because it's an 8 cost card.
yes, it is an 8 cost card, and you can drain multiple domains to play it. And for each domain beyond the first that you drained, when you play it, your opponent chooses a non-ancient one character he controls and removes it from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, if you were to play it, you would be removing both characters in play from the game that you have. And then it also has a disrupt effect after it's in play to cancel an effect that would target one or more agency characters you control.
I don't think I got to target any of his characters.
He's definitely debating what to do here. I don't know what else he has to debate with.
There was a lot of gesticulation while you were explaining what the foundation does.
Gotcha.
A lot.
All right, here he goes. Looks like he's not going for the foundation.
Nope. That's a femme fatale.
Femme fatale.
She's a 2-drop. She's fast. And she's got a skull.
She does have a skull, and that's what she is. She's an investigator fast 2-drop skull.
That's a very conservative play on Rod's part.
It is a very conservative play on Rod's part. He could have cleared the board of your characters.
He's leaning on those stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular case here, it looks like he's choosing to just leave them committed and not committing any extra characters.
Yeah. Because he just wants to get the toxemia out of the way.
Right, that way he doesn't have to worry about wounding anything with toxemia.
And I finally elect to contest.
And you're killing that one, so now you still have your toughness out there.
Yep, and now he uses Mr. Gray,
Now he uses Mr. Gray to win the...
clears it. And I'm very puzzled why I even did that. Because the Migo would not have made it through the combat struggles. I don't think I was taking that into account.
Yeah.
Oh, and I use Vortex of Time to take away a shotgun blast.
Oh, geez, why would you want to take away a shotgun blast?
The reasons are many and cannot be elucidated within the span of time we have today. And he gets the second stalker gets to throw down more, and he leaves it there, of course.
No, I'm very surprised that he used Mr. Gray to take the toxemia at that point.
I think it seems like it would have been much more beneficial to take away sooner.
To take away sooner, or in this case, the toxemia would have... he would have killed your character. Because he wouldn't have made it through the combat struggles.
Yeah.
So he still would have won the toxemia. And if he'd have put the success token on the other story, he would have then taken that story as well.
Not certain on the thinking there. He may have been concerned I had shenanigans.
He could have been... That's very true. Shenanigans may have been...
I've only played one purple card, so clearly I'm hoarding the rest in my hand, and they're not buried at the bottom of the deck, which is actually what happened.
Right. That's and that's true. There's, the fear of things like mind swap and cards like that.
Oh, I love a mind swap. Then draw a card. That is our friend, the Migo Worker, I believe, who can be wounded to discount on the next Migo played.
Gotcha.
Based on resources in a drained domain, which is something I forget. It's not just discount by 1.
Gotcha. It's discount by X.
But you have to have drained the domain. That's the big thing.
Looks like you're wounding him.
I think I'm using it correctly. Yeah, I even recognize that it's loyal, which is a pain. That's the Lord of the Migo, which I will not attempt to pronounce. Starts with an X. Look it up.
What were we calling him? The Lord of the Migo and the Lord of the
Michael
Dance.
Flatley, Lord of the
Yes,
Dance.
Michael Flatley. That was our nickname for the Lord of the Migo.
Mm-hmm. These nicknames come up, and some of them are better than others. I'm gonna say that right now.
Oh, definitely.
What's the matter, you? I'm down with that. Michael Flatley.
Yeah.
Am I gonna play more cards?
I don't know.
I keep making the pass the turn gesture, and I know that's not what it is.
Apparently, I was pointing at something. I don't know what.
Oh, I bet that's that's either a surgeon or a caretaker. I'm gonna call it the Migo Surgeon, which grants arcane.
Gotcha.
Did I just decide not to play? Oh no, I see.
Oh, you are committing stuff.
I think I just want to take that stalker off the board before he clears the story.
Makes sense. It's also where you have 2 success tokens at a story currently, so.
Wounding the Lord because he has toughness of his own.
Oh, nice. So he's got boosted toughness.
Yep.
All right, now he's only got the Stalker, which is already at the story that you're committing to, and the Femme Fatale.
Yep. The Fatale is fast, and together they could have 3 skulls.
Right.
Because right now my side has 3. While the Lord has terror, he's going to realize in a second the Stalker has willpower.
Yes, he does.
It's fascinating.
It's very fascinating. Oh, sorry about the dead air here, folks.
Yeah, well, what are they thinking? It only happened yesterday. For me, at least. For you, watching at home, it happened weeks ago.
Yes.
And in another country, possibly. Nope, the Stalker's going to die.
So Stalker dies from combat.
Yep.
And you win. Does the Migo Lord have a investigation icon?
The Surgeon has investigation.
The Surgeon has investigation. Fair enough.
You got to know where to find those organs.
That's right.
Yep. And that's the end of it. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Decked. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/DeckShow. Leave a comment and let us know what you think. And we'll catch you next time here on Decked. Thanks so much, Ray.
No problem.